Hi, Harry. Happy Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's midweek, so I mean it's end of the midweek, so we're going on to the final bit of the week, closer to playing the Euros. So
All you
there we
had
go.
to say was, yeah, it's Wednesday.
Yeah, I like to make it complicated. Look, it's been an upsetting 2 days. I mean, we'll get onto that, but you know,
It's it feels like the last couple of days there's started to be a bit more of a ramp up in activity, but maybe that's equally just the return of some slightly more vocal fan bases now
uh,
that they've actually done some business. Because it's
yeah,
been
must
quite
be must
quiet.
be must be some sort of weather event that's pulling this off.
Inclemental weather. The British summertime is here, isn't it?
Yeah, well, what's summertime? Because as far as I understand, it's been pissing it down.
Do you know? Well, that's yeah. I was watching Wimbledon today because there's been no football, and the covers have been on and off. I'm in London tomorrow though, and it's supposed to be 20 degrees and sunny, so it bodes well
I mean,
for the barbecue.
in Mansfield, it's raining and our game's called off already for the first game of the season.
What, the 10th of August?
Oh, no. We've got a week after. We're away. So our Burton game's already called off due to weather events.
Oh, right. But is that on the 9th of August or is it on the
17th or something.
Is it? What, you haven't got a game until that following Friday? I just
No, but
assumed the day before.
that's our first home game. Our first game's away. We're on that stupid Friday night.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Because I was talking about going. So Swindon Chesterfield is also that night. So I was talking to the Falls Russian guys about joining them.
I was meant to, but then we decided to get put on the same night. That was the day me and Ben said, look, we'll go to Chesterfield and I'll be sat in the Swindon end cheering every goal they score like it's the World Cup final because it's against them idiots. Yeah, I don't like Chesterfield.
No, who'd have guessed? We'll get on to fixtures moving around in a bit. What else have you done with your week?
Fantasy football league, Euros, making sure I stay top at league. Yeah, honestly, my life just is football. All I've done is watch football. Love Island, that's been in there. Casa Amor week, you know. I'm sure I'll get a lot of stick for that one.
Well, the girls have been on. So Sophie and Charlotte have been watching Love Island. I've been trying to run it as a teachable event. Do you think that Harriet behaved appropriately then? How could Harriet have done things differently? And they've not realised that I am in fact using it as some kind of extended PSHE lesson. But because they went on residential, they did that thing that I have done every year for the last few years where you get out of it and you don't get back into it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat a bit of Casa Amor. It's a fun week.
Well, you can because friendlies start again on Saturday.
Not for us. We get back in on Monday for our first day pre-season.
Even the players aren't back yet.
No.
That's got to be one of the last, surely. Even Crawley are back in and they had playoffs.
Yeah, but they've been playing they've been doing 5-a-side training.
Yeah, so still training. They're not on the beach, are they?
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. I mean,
that's the point. Has Wayne Rooney, in fact, come back from? No, he has.
Yeah, he is back. He did his last game it was last week. It was definitely last week. Can't remember when.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like most clubs are back in now. In some in some form or another.
I mean, I think the video of my week of seeing people back in is definitely James McLean looking absolutely blown out of his arse, but still coming joint top of Wrexham's fitness levels, and he's 35. And it's what have you all? Well, to be fair, they've all probably been getting pissed up. They got promoted. Don't blame them.
He's been doing quite a lot of punditry because didn't he get in trouble for saying something about
Declan Rice?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because that guy's an absolute bitter dickhead. Oh shit! I forgot we were recording. But no, I love James McLean. Great guy, dickhead. But no, the reason for that is because obviously Declan Rice did the right thing. Came to the country. Well, he's born in England. He only played for Ireland because his grandma's dog were Irish, and he chose to play for England. And he's done the right thing, because let's be honest, when Southgate leaves, we are actually going to win something. And now Wrexham fans are going to hate me if they don't already.
I think they do already, Liv. You've that kind of ship sailed. I think at the moment it feels like Liam teed them up, and I say we, but let's be honest, you have just kind of taken over. Although I did spot there were some attempts at reconciliation in our messages today from one of their podcasts, I think.
Yeah, the thing is, right, with Wrexham fans, and, you know, I'm sure the ones that don't agree with what we say are still listening, although they're meant to be boycotting, but don't, because, you know, I am not that unbiased. You know, there is some really nice Wrexham fans, like some really good and good debatable, like, as in you can have a good debate with some Wrexham fans. But there is also some where you can't even, like, there's no point even discussing it, because they're too stubborn to agree.
Yeah.
That
And
it's debatable.
On one of the county WhatsApp groups today, we were talking about like whether, because we, you know, everyone takes the piss out of their own fans that are like that as well. Like every fan base has very, you know, a certain kind of core that, you know, just come out with absolute nonsense. And one of the things today was County had put a message up saying, like, tell us what photos you want to see from training and we'll deliver. And of course you get the whole like, oh, let's have some pictures of training before Louis Barry. Like, it's just, I'm getting really upset about the whole every Stockport County social media post has to have a comment about Louis Barry underneath it. And I don't like, given the quality of the team that we're assembling, it's incredibly disrespectful to say Lewis bloody Fiorini's announcement. Like, does this mean we're not getting Louis Barry? It's just rude, and I've had enough of it. We are recruiting as if we're not getting him. If we get him, and it's a bonus. I mean, Sam Byrne, who is one of the journalists kind of who works really closely with the club, he was on BBC Radio Manchester yesterday saying that Stoke are interested in Louis Barry. I'm sure there's God knows how many other clubs, and it's somewhat entitled, I think, to think that he would come back to us over, you know, a championship club, or, you know, a club like Birmingham, for example. I mean, he would never go to Birmingham, I don't think, because like, you know, family loyalties and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, it's I find it feels like people just need to let go and embrace the players that we've got.
I mean,
what happens.
Like you said, every fan base has the debatable people, you know, people who just come out with utter nonsense. Wrexham seem to have more of them.
I think it's because of, I think it's a percentage thing. Like, if there is a percentage of a fan base that is, when you say debatable, I'd say questionable, but, you know, regardless, then with a fan base the size of Wrexham's and the way that their fan base is so, I mean, to a certain extent, a wide range of it only exists on social media. They don't, you know, they're in other countries, or they're, you know, in the UK, but aren't traveling frequently to Wrexham. So that's where that discourse takes place in a way that it doesn't necessarily with other clubs. So I think that kind of plays a part in it. But oh my God, I'd genuinely forgotten that they existed until yesterday.
It's just painful. It's painful. You try and have a discussion, but there's no discussion, because all they're doing is just going back to their original point, saying, yeah, but he didn't break the transfer fee because he didn't note it in they didn't put it in the transfer description of when they signed the player, or the announcement.
Like, right.
We'll get onto this discussion early.
Well, no, let's unpick it now, seeing as we've arrived there, and then we can kind of move on and get on with our lives and forget that it exists again. So, Lewis Brunt, who was your Louis Barry last season, he was your don't fall in love with a lone player.
Yeah.
He was at Mansfield from Leicester.
Yes, Leicester.
Yeah. Was he with you all season or
all season.
all season? Okay.
Yeah, like
So Mansfield had been interested in him, but the amount that has been suggested was outside of your budget for that player, that position, that transaction.
Yeah.
Regardless. God. So he announced yesterday that he's been signed by Wrexham. Just for a minute as well, we talked a lot on Lower League Look last season about all of the different things that can be sponsored at a football club.
yeah,
Transfer. I know some clubs like Peterborough have a recruitment company that sponsors their recruitment, and like it's on at every post. Wrexham have a printer that's sponsored. So a printer that prints out contracts, sponsors. Yeah. Anyway, so that was it was announced by the printer that Lewis Brunt was going to Wrexham. With money in the, well, how much were you led to believe that he's signed for?
I don't know how much he was signed for, but I can tell you our first bid we rejected at 600k.
Right.
And that's Mansfield fans know that.
So Wrexham's so Liam had put a message up saying something about, it's silly money for League One or for lower leagues, and for a player of that kind of experience, like had a really good season in League Two, but kind of otherwise. So Wrexham fans are absolutely adamant that he couldn't have gone for 600k or more, because no announcement has been made by the club that their transfer budget their transfer record has been exceeded.
Absolutely. And then
so go on.
And then we was told, yeah, it might not be 600k because it could be a certain fee up front with add-ons and sell-on clauses. But I'm not being funny. If we've had 600k rejected, so you're telling me below 300k, along with add-on clauses and sell-on clauses, is better, then I think you're well off it. You're way out of it. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying to Wrexham fans. You can have this 300k bid, even if it's not 300. Let's say 250k. It's still, and have these add-ons and sell-on clauses for Leicester. It's still not as good as 600k up front, even with us still having these sell-on clauses.
Yeah.
Because every big club has them. And this is what I was saying, but I won't put it too out there because, we don't want it getting leaked how much happened. But, Wrexham fans need to understand it's your record transfer fee. And it is. And I'm not acting like I'm believing everything I read off the internet. It is.
And there are lots of reasons why it could be, but the club wouldn't announce it. So if you think so, a club might not announce it because they could be in talks with another player. They could have signed another player already who is, the contract is going to be valued more than that. And it starts to be a bit daft, if you like, if like, oh, it's a club record transfer fee, and then 2 days later it's a club record transfer fee. And at the same time, Wrexham particularly are sensitive to the whole, oh, they're buying the league. I mean, they don't have to disclose this information, not at all. What was he valued on? So Transfermarkt has him valued at 400. I mean, they also have a Quancro valued at 1.8 million, and
obviously got released.
They've clearly not paid that for. Well, I would hope they've not paid that for.
No, he got him on a free because his contract.
Oh yeah, of course. So maybe 300k isn't there or thereabouts, but it's certainly not been published, and it doesn't kind of make sense. Maybe he just really didn't want to go back to Mansfield.
I won't blame him. It's a shithole, but so is Wrexham.
True, but I suppose And we've talked about this before, that like Wrexham, I think, attracts a particular type of player. And there are some players that would thrive. Like I remember talking to Billy Waters last season, who is still sitting around at Wrexham, but I would expect him to go out on loan again imminently. And it was one of those where like he didn't have to think twice about it. And it wasn't necessary. It was getting a good contract and going to play, although, you know, he hasn't actually played that much. It was everything that got wrapped around it. And it was the experience, and it was the profile raising, and he got to go to Vegas. And there was like there is a whole Wrexham juggernaut of experiences that go with being a Wrexham player, aren't there? So maybe that played into it as well.
I don't blame him for going.
No.
Like, at all. Because we couldn't accept a fee for Leicester.
Yeah.
Right? So Wrexham's gone and done that. So it's not a case of both teams have had a fee accepted and it's choose between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you did that, I'd kind of get it. It's Wrexham. It's, you know, it's a project. They've got this. Well, it's a storyline. I mean, it's not this underdog one that people keep making it out to be, but you know.
No. And that centre back role as well. They've lost Tozer, they've lost Aaron Hayden, Tunnicliffe. Like it's certainly a role that they need to
and
bolster.
You know, I'd choose Wrexham, but I wouldn't. But if I was a neutral fan, if I were like, I don't know, played for Middlesbrough under 21s, for instance, and I had to choose between Mansfield or Wrexham, at the minute you go to Wrexham. Like, everyone, I mean...
Or do you go to Mansfield and you get to be the big star?
Well, you know...
that like...
He'd have got a hero's welcome back. He would have.
Well, right. Lewis Brunt, like, I mean, I'm assuming like Louis Barry, was adored. Universally adored. He was, you know, he was everything. And I can see that in itself is very appealing to a young player who's kind of gone through Premiership academies and
I mean, he's literally just came off holiday with DKD.
Oh,
like they're good mates. I'm a bit gutted, but I understand it. And the old thing with Wrexham, you know, this isn't towards all Wrexham fans, because some of you, like that pod we've been speaking to today, you know, you're good people, you have a chat and you debate things, but some of you just really need to learn about having a debate and actually like having a conversation about possibilities and not just being so stubborn and not open to other ideas.
I think it's, you know, it's any, like I said, I think it's a personality thing, isn't it? But it, like you say, it's that kind of being open to other opinions. And ultimately, this whole conversation comes down to people who think they're in the know, arguing with other people who think they're in the know. And no one really knows. It's all conjecture. And, you know, you think you're right. They think they're right. One of you is not right. So...
Yeah.
But you're not going to work that out. I mean, at some point, I suppose it might come out, and then you can do your... Have you done all your bookmarking tweets?
No, not bothered. Like, honestly, once we had this discussion, I'm not really bothered, you know. Unless they come back and hit back at me, I'll fight back with something. But, you know, all I've got to say, the message of this is don't fall in love with a lone player, guys. We say it every season, just don't do it. It's not worth it. You know, I'm sat in my office yesterday at about 2:00 when they announced it, and I was about in tears. So yeah.
Oh, Harry.
No, I wasn't at all. I was just doing.
You were cross.
Effect. I was just more of like fuming and wanting to punch my monitor. Yeah.
I think your fuck you Wrexham tweet said it all.
Yeah. Just go fuck yourselves.
And he's not that good anyway.
That was to Leicester for being.
Oh, was that Leicester?
Yeah, that was Leicester. That's nothing to do with Wrexham. That's not their fault. Leicester were just stubborn. You know, they've got PSR issues and getting points deduction. Right. So I hope you get relegated. I hope you enjoy the Championship again. And we'll see you next time.
You can go and like punish them in Football Manager or whatever it is that people do with like using Football Manager as some kind of passive aggressive.
Just get them in Carabao Cup round 2 and they get into it. Obviously, we've got to beat Bolton first. I'm not saying we will, Bolton fans. Don't you join the bandwagon. You know, if we get Leicester in Carabao Cup round 2 or FA Cup round 3, just set Aidan Flint to just smash one of their players into Rosette. That's all I'd say.
We had Leicester City in the Carabao Cup 2 years ago, and it was when I was on a cruise and it went to penalties and we lost.
Who was that to?
Leicester.
Oh, yeah, Leicester. Of course it was.
So let's do quickly. So you talked about your Friday night opener. Have any of your other fixtures moved? So what they've done is they've announced today, I think it's up to the end of September, isn't it? So it's only like the first couple of months. Is that?
Yeah, from match day 2 to 8, they've announced today.
So have you had any more day changes? We've got 2 time changes.
We've just got a time change.
Okay. I wonder if
it's one I feel bad for Cambridge fans.
Yeah, we've got Bristol.
12:30 on a Saturday.
Yeah. So we've got Bristol at 12:30 on a Saturday, which is shit. There won't be trains to get you up that early because it's a good 3 hours to like Oxford and anyway. And then our other one is Barnsley to 7:45 on a Saturday night, which is fine if you drive or if you get a coach. There aren't any the last train back is 9:38 or something, so
yeah,
it's not happening.
It's still good. Obviously, I've obviously made myself, well, people might think it's you because I've been doing it off the League One Look account.
Well, it's all right. I deserve some payback after doing it to Liam for a while.
But I've been very vocal about what I think about this Sky deal. I'm not a fan. Well, no, I am. I'm a fan of the Sky deal. I'm just not a fan of how they've executed it. I think they could just use their brain a bit more. It's not hard, is it? You know.
So how would you have done it differently if you're in charge of Sky Bets, EFL, League One programming?
Right. So you think about it logically, right? 12:30 p.m. kickoffs. Yeah, you do your local ones. So if there's a local game on that week,
right?
So let's have a look. Let's have a look what we've got on between match day.
What? So you have like featured derbies?
Well, not even derbies, but like locally. So for us, I'd probably say like if they move, obviously, if they moved our game with Burton, our first home game to 12:30.
Yeah,
that's not that bad because Burton's like 50-minute down the road.
Yeah,
like that's just an example. Don't move Bristol Rovers away to Stockport to a 12:30. If you want to show that game, do it at 5:30. At least they've got a way to
But then that would be as bad for them getting back. There wouldn't be trains getting back. I
mean, they might be. Surely.
Doubt it.
Depends.
We're quite backward in the north.
When would the game finish? Perhaps
at 5:30.
7:15.
7, yeah, 7:15.
I mean,
you'd probably get down to Birmingham, but maybe not further.
It'd be awkward. It would be awkward. But I still think it's a better option than having to wake up at stupid o'clock. Yeah. That's one way they can execute it better. Or they could have done it at Sunday 2:00 or something like that. You know, if you're going to fit these games in where they are longer distances for away fans, put it at a reasonable time. Don't put it at 12:30. You know, I feel bad for Cambridge. I feel bad for Bristol Rovers. I think there were a couple more I mentioned. Crawley's got one. Crawley's at home to Bolton. They've got that at 12:30. It's just stupid. You know, it's absolutely stupid.
Although Bolton to Crawley is like I mean I've obviously done Stockport to Crawley a few times, and it's train down to London and then train out to Crawley or Summit Junction. I don't know where it is. It's not a bad one, but you know, again, it's mildly inconvenient.
And it just shows how narrow-minded the EFL are. Grassroots football gets played, even academy football. So these academy teams, you know, that your clubs are doing, play in the morning. So what are they going to do? You know, they're not going to be able to watch these players they're meant to learn off if you're an academy player. As a grassroots player, these young fans aren't going to be able to watch the 12:30 kickoff. People
Well, no, I mean, Charlotte's moving up to under 12s, but all her games last season were a 12:40 kickoff, and it drove me insane. It was bad enough to get to county for 3, and it's 20 minutes away from the ground. But one of her coaches works for the County Community Trust, and he's already said that if county are at home, he just can't, because either a 3 o'clock or an early one.
Yeah.
And he just cannot do the two.
Yeah, and it's just, where's the thought for these fans? You know, with Premier League, we already know about how crap they are with fans and interaction with fans. EFL, it's not that good, but it's manageable. But it's just getting to the point where greed and money is taking over the actual love for the game. Like, what?
So would you stick with it how it's been, or would you? So, because I mean, this is the argument that's being leveled today. We say that as the lower leagues, we want more awareness of our clubs and of the games, and we want more coverage. We get more coverage, and then we're bitching about Friday nights and Saturday nights and Sunday lunchtimes.
Right, the Friday night for Barnsley is not that bad for Mansfield fans. I'm just going to use that as an example.
I love Friday night football. I've said this before. Like, it's my favourite.
Like, we are just, I think it's about an hour down the road. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mansfield. But, you know, my counter argument to that is, like, they said they wouldn't bring in any new broadcast slots. And I know Salford versus Stockport was at 8 p.m. on a...
Oh, hang on. Right. What did you just call them? Salford?
Yeah.
Salford.
All right. Salford versus Stockport.
Thank you.
Was on at 8 p.m. But we're all getting to like 20 minutes away from each other. But either way, it shouldn't be played at Thursday at 8 p.m. Regardless, that game should not have been played at that time. Why?
Well, it also meant that because it was on Thursday at 8 p.m, we had less than 48 hours to Saturday kickoffs. So Salford ended up playing on the Sunday, and we had to go down to Crawley on a Monday night.
Exactly. Narrow-minded again.
No one wants to do that.
So, you know, people are saying we want more coverage, but the reason we wanted more coverage was we wanted more coverage like how the Championship get it, not on some random red button channel. That's what we're going to be on. You know, we wanted more Sky Sports football, Sky Sports main event, like the Championship guys are on. You know, I haven't seen a Championship kickoff at 8 p.m. I'm not sure about you at Thursday 8 p.m. No. You know, this
honestly,
is what we
I
want.
probably wouldn't notice even if it did. You know me, and like different leagues.
I've watched that many Championship. I love the Championship. It's the best league in the world. I know Liam's going to debate League Two, but Championship's the best league in the world. But there's so many games. Sometimes you just think, what's the point? You're just doing this to fit the criteria, and it's a 0-0 draw, and you just sat there thinking, what was the point? You know, that could have easily been filled by League One, Mansfield versus Barnsley, for instance, or Bolton and Stockport's close, aren't they? Close enough for a Friday night game.
Yeah.
Bolton versus Stockport, bit of a history there with Sauce. Obviously, he's not at your place there, but I can imagine there's still a bit of taste, you know.
Well, it's that now. Yes, it was Sauce, and now it's that FA Cup
video
replay, which was brilliant. But they have beaten us since. I think it was in one of the cups last season. Yeah.
You know, this is what we meant by we wanted more coverage on the main channels, not a red button. You know, I'm not a fan, and I've always been there should always be a blackout. There should be a 3 p.m. blackout. Get to your local club, you know, and support it. But it even made me consider today we shouldn't even have a blackout. we should just go back to 3. If you want to show these games, show them all at 3 p.m. and put them all on Sky and get rid of this black art. And that's coming from someone who's always been, I want that black art.
It's funny, isn't it? Because there are some people that will benefit from it. Like there are some people. I mean, I like honestly, if I've got nothing else on, I don't mind like a lunchtime kickoff. And one of my favorite football days last season was watching Mansfield Colchester in the pub, and then walking to the ground with people that I've been in the pub with, and watching County and MK Dons, and then going back to the pub. It was, it's a nice way to spend a Saturday afternoon, evening without kind of rushing and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, that particular day was stupid, and Danny Cowley, your tactics is still horrendous and boring. But just some latest news, that's breaking news coming from League One Look, although this will be posted probably tonight, so you all may have seen it by now. But Paul Mullin is to miss the US tour because he had his surgery last month.
What did he have surgery on?
Let me just, I you know what, I try not to interact with
So I didn't realise as well until we were looking at things earlier on to do with Wrexham.
Lower back hamstring issue.
Okay. That when they were after, I was going to call him Luke Armstrong.
Yes, that's it.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
What did I try and call it? Neil Armstrong. Yeah. When they were signing Luke Armstrong, it was because they weren't sure what Mullin's recovery was going to be like coming back off that when he punctured his lung and whatever else in that match against Manchester United. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, should we talk about the club who signed that goalkeeper who made that injury happen?
I've missed it.
Yeah, Nathan Bishop was the keeper who unfortunately injured Paul Mullin. Yeah. Obviously, it was an accidental challenge.
Yeah.
Phil Parkinson didn't think that at the time. He thought it was an absolute disgrace. But, you know, these things happen in football pre-season. You know, it happens. It's unfortunate. But yeah, Wycombe have signed Nathan Bishop, which I think is an absolute incredible signing, to be honest.
Yeah, he's gone from Sunderland. Well, it's a loan, isn't it?
Yeah, loan.
Yeah, interesting. Wycombe have done like sensible, measured business, I think, so far.
I just think it's clever.
Yeah,
it's clever.
You know, they're kind of operating not one in, one out, but they're replacing like for like in a way that some like we are drowning in like centre backs, right backs at the moment, and I've got no idea what's going on, but you know. It looks pretty sensible. And Burton have done the same actually. Oh, but we can talk about Burton. Burton had their well, I don't know, it was like meet the new club type thing, wasn't it? In terms of meet the new owners, meet the new players, and they originally they just kept like having to increase the capacity of it because it was so popular. And they ended up doing it in the Pirelli stand at the ground, and by all accounts, it was really good.
Yeah, and you know, I asked Burton fans what were your thoughts on it, and you know, all I got were positive feedback. Besides a Derby fan saying it's a season ticket ploy or something. But
I think anyone could get. I know it was open to season ticket. Oh right, as in like come and buy a season ticket.
But you know, I obviously shut that down because I don't like Derby as a Mansfield fan, and I much prefer Burton as
Derby are having a perfectly normal, quiet transfer season. Well, it's not even. I mean, it's one of their players that's got in trouble on holiday, hasn't it?
But, oh yeah, they've done the usual. There's some shenanigans always at that club, but you know, Burton. You know, I feel like we got off on the wrong foot last week. I don't know why.
And it wasn't. I think
it wasn't intentional either.
No, it was. I think I didn't help with the caption or the description when I put something like
"What are Burton doing?"
What are Burton doing? But I meant it in a like You know, every time there was an
Just a
announcement last
surprise,
week, it
just a
was like,
surprise
"Oh,
that they're doing
what are they
this.
doing now? Like, who
And
have they signed
but
now?"
I
It
think
wasn't
people didn't understand the
a
point of
negative.
we were just shocked and as excited as you
Yeah,
guys are. Like,
yeah,
I'm really excited. I love seeing this about Bert, and I love seeing how everything's coming with this new takeover. And it seems so good what they're doing, and they're already interacting with the community.
I
They didn't have to do this
know.
meet and greet, did
Like,
they?
there was someone had taken his son and he'd met El Watt, who I still follow, well, will always follow on Twitter because he's bloody lovely. But he, like, El had replied and, like, he remembered the child and, like, it was just a really lovely, like, nice,
Or
wholesome interaction.
Orsi seemed to like it as well. He was commenting on it, saying it were great. All these players who have signed, they all seem to have liked it. You know,
Mhm,
and I am really excited for Burton fans because it seems like they've just stagnated ever since they came back down from the Championship. So it's nice to
mhm.
see them have some sort of excitement and some positivity going into the new season.
Right.
Um,
And
and
when you have a season like that, I mean, obviously they survived relegation last season, but not by much, in fairness. And as a fan, it must be really exciting to see to kind of feel that amount of change. And we've got it at Stockport in to a certain degree. Like Charlie, I'm not making this all about Stockport again, I promise, because I don't do that, as you know.
go
But
in there and
Charlie,
make it about you.
Charlie was on BBC Radio Manchester talking about, like, if you're this isn't a consolidation season. If you're consolidating, that means you're not, like, improving, you're not moving forward. And then he was talking about kind of ambitions. But for Burton, like, they needed to have more than a consolidation season as well, because they need to kind of to be safe and to progress. And
Yeah,
I'm sure they have ambitions to get back to the Championship. But what they're doing with, like, that really exciting group of players, and I get there was some of the criticism, I think, about saying they were a mid-table League Two
oh
team.
yeah,
No,
let's
no, no,
shut
no,
that
no.
down.
That was Godwin Malife signing from a mid-table League Two
Oh
team.
yeah, because I
Um,
literally said about 5 minutes after that, oh yeah, it's Steam League
yeah,
too. Like,
it's League Two All Stars
yeah,
plus, some
they've got some really good. And I'll tell you something.
extra highlights.
Straight after that, I'm gonna give a shout out. It's Dave. He's some grand upper Burton fan. He's been posting some stuff, or was it him, or did he repost it? I'm not sure, but I'm sure he reposted or posted some information about this Borel, this signed from the Scottish League One, and he looks a really
Burrell.
yeah Borough.
What are
He
you
looks
calling him? Boral.
yeah my accent common
Boral.
as but yeah, he seems a really good player, and they've today a picture got leaked of Dylan Williams, who with this left back from Chelsea that they've signed, and he
Right.
seems really good to be fair.
Because they had Charlie Webster from Chelsea as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
So,
they have made some really good League One signings,
mhm.
but it is also a League Two super team in a way where they are signing players from League Two who are
Yeah,
like really, really like top of the tree League Two players
yeah.
who are ready to make that step up. I should actually say that, like, they are top of the tree League Two players who are ready to make the step up
And
before they go. Before some of them say, "Oh, you ain't called them League Two players; they're not ready for League One." No, they're ready to
yeah,
make the step up, or at least attempt the step up. But it's just whether it works out. But majority
and
should.
with the exception of a couple, notably Ben Whitfield and Orsi, who have both got, a good wind in them yet. Most of the players they've signed are in their early 20s. They've got lots of
Yeah.
potential. Yeah, they're the club, I think. I don't think they're, like, in dark horse territory,
Not
but
yet, but I can
I
see it.
think they're the club at the moment whose results I will always keep an eye out on.
Yeah, I think they're an exciting. They're one of them where they're just exciting, and I think as a neutral, it's one where well, not as a neutral because I'm a Manchester fan. What am I talking about? But as someone who's going to look out for the rest of the league, I think
Yeah,
obviously I'm going to look out for Stockport and Burton. I think they are the three teams. Well, obviously Mansfield I'll be at the games, but Stockport
yeah.
and Burton I will be looking at. straight away. And also Birmingham, because, big club, you want to see how they're doing every week. You want to see if they've
Yeah.
messed it up somehow but
Yeah.
I think obviously we've spoke about Burton, and I'm really pleased that they are enjoying what's going on at the minute, and as they should.
It's so exciting when you get a new owner or a consortium in their situation who gets the club, gets the fans, gets you excited. Because, to go through a season, I mean, I know the Robinsons were kind of doing their best, and, it wasn't like they were behaving badly as owners. They've not been siphoning money out of the club or, anything like that. But a change of ownership can have a massive impact on a club's fortunes.
Yeah, and I think I think that leads on to another club who has also been recently took over. We've spoken on briefly, Wycombe. They've been took over, and are having a discussion. I think it was last night or maybe in the afternoon yesterday. Their owners seem to be like, while doing good things off the pitch, they're still keeping it good and sustainable and looking out for the long term off the pitch, which is really clever. They've got Harlington training facilities, which is Chelsea's former facility, and it is like top. It's top tier in League One. Like, it's really good. It's a really good facility, and they are looking out for the clubs, not just in the future, but they're looking for now, because obviously that's going to attract players into your club if you've got a good facility. They've already got Bishop in. They've got Hartridge in, who's a good League One centre half. They've done good business, and I can't help but feel the new owners and their way of just buying this facility and the facilities and the club is actually on the up. That's the reason for these players joining, and I don't blame them.
Well, they get sold not a promise or a kind of a story, but they get sold the ambition, and in the corporate world, it would be the mission and the values of the business, and that will be articulated as a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 7-year plan, a 10-year plan, and they will have a roadmap to get there, and articulating that and bringing the fans, the players, all the stakeholders, sponsors, everyone along with them on that just kind of helps with the unity, and that everyone's got the same agenda and the same ambitions, and it's really good opportunity.
I think the thing is with Wycombe, the reason why it's gone, and I feel like it's gone under the radar in League One this summer, is because of how well Burton's done in just getting these players in and signing all these players. The reason why I have so much praise for Wycombe is because although they've had this takeover, they're sticking to the guns. They're staying sustainable, but they're signing these players that they know that will do the business for them. They will.
And they've not done crazy transfers.
They've not gone out and blitzed it, but they've still got a good squad that finished, I believe it was mid-table last season. But, and they've got a really young manager, Matt Bloomfield. Good manager. They've got a really good foundation to build on for this season and then continuing from then on. So I'm impressed, and I think Wycombe fans should be too. They might need a few more through the door for squad depth, but that's going to happen. We've got 60 days till the season starts.
So the supercomputer, have you seen that? The supercomputer prediction. So if you were the supercomputer prediction, Crawley aside, and I mean, Crawley is Crawley. I think we talked about them at length last week, and the situation kind of escalated over the course of the week Courier Dye signed for Stockport County, Lolos went to Bolton, Liam Kelly is expected still to sign for MK Dons. That's not gone through yet. They have brought a couple of people in, but Crawley aside, who else do you think, based on kind of last season and the business that's gone on so far, would be down there with them at the moment if we kicked off tomorrow?
Shrewsbury. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, it is Shrewsbury. Yeah, they're not in a good position. They've got 12 players, 13 or 12. I can't remember what. I think it's 13.
Right.
They've got 13 players, and they're on about moving on Shipley, which would put them down to 12. And I mean, their arrivals have been, I wouldn't say bad. They've just been like underwhelming. And obviously, they've lost the striker to a league rival because they couldn't financially compete, which they've admitted in a statement. I mean, it's quite concerning for them. And, you know, you just have to go back 6 years to where they finished third in this league. And, you know, we're 6 points off going up, but they're on 87 points, which is a great tally. And would normally get you automatics. But, you know, it's just been, as we were saying with Burton, well, we weren't saying with Burton, but like they've stagnated for a while.
Yeah.
This could be the repercussions of stagnating for a while for Shrewsbury. And going down to League Two is not nice.
No. And the players that they've brought in, so they've got, I mean, again, well, Toto Nasiala from Burton in centre back, but the others are all League Two. So Toby Savin, who was Accrington Stanley's goalkeeper. Now, Accrington Stanley last season, so Toby Savin was brilliant. And at the beginning of the season was often like goalkeeper of the week or, you know, in the team of the week thing. And he got injured. And then Accrington went through, I think, 2 or 3 emergency goalkeepers in quite quick succession. So, but Toby Savin, I think, is a great signing. And Harrison Biggins from Doncaster, who, you know, again had a quiet year and then a really good last few months. And, you know, it's how recruitment works, isn't it? You see what you see. You don't necessarily look kind of beyond that. We had, who was the Hartlepool goalkeeper that ended up at
Ben Killip.
Burnley, because he played an absolute blinder against us in one game, but had been like horrendous the rest of the season.
Pony for like all season, and then had one good game, and then it was like, oh right, you're getting signed.
Yeah,
but no, Harrison Biggins, you know, you were decent. I'm going to put him in, like, if we were to rank it like excellent, like top tier, excellent, good, and then decent, he'd be in the decent category, you know. I don't think he were a world beater in League Two. I think, obviously, when we went to watch Donny versus Crewe, he was probably the best player on the pitch. But, you know, I don't think he were a world beater at all. I mean, I don't know if it's out of bitterness, but some Donny fans didn't even really give a crap if he came back or not. But I think that might be a bit bitter. But some actually genuinely did say from the start it would be the end of the world if he didn't come back. So, you know, it's not been... and this is what I meant when I put that tweet out earlier. You know, they've got 4 arrivals in, but it's a mixed bag of ability. So it's like...
So speaking of that Crawley Doncaster, Crewe even Doncaster game, just before we started recording this, Peterborough announced that they'd signed Rio Adebisi from Crewe. So when we went into that, you were very, very excited about Rio Adebisi. Yes. He was going to be Mansfield's next 10. What number do you play?
3.
3. I got 10 from. He's a defender.
It was like obviously we weren't linked with him at the time. I just had like my dreams and my hopes, and you know, it ended badly.
Twice in 2 days.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just stop getting excited by players that don't belong to you.
Well, one was a loan player, and the other one was like seemed reasonable because you're out of contract. But then little did I know that Crewe would decide to put such a high compensation fee on him. But yeah, it's just been a sad 2 days, and then you know I've got England on Saturday, so no doubt it'll be sad again. But no, Posh have got a great player there. You know, I love him. I think he's going to be absolutely amazing. But what I don't get is Harrison Burrows, who's their left back, like one of the best left backs in the league, is still there.
Mm-hmm.
So is this a hint that, like, while it seems good now, Peterborough fans, is it going to end badly when your best player, well, arguably your best player, is going to be out the door, just like your other good player, Ronnie Edwards?
Maybe. How old's Adebisi?
22 or 23.
Yeah, so it might just be a kind of squad.
He's not a squad player. He's so
No,
good.
but I mean, but Peterborough do this, don't they? They bring in young players, they like Shamanga, and then they just kick around, they sit on the bench a bit, they just never kind of gel. And
Yeah,
then
but I'm glad it happened to him because he's a former Chesterfield player. So
yeah.
Unlucky. But no, Rio, he's too good to be a squad player in League One. Like, he is a starter in League One, and he does deserve to be in that like top category. I mean, maybe I had my hopes too high, and he was too good for us anyway. But he deserves to be in that like Peterborough, Barnsley, Bolton sort of region.
Stockport.
Yeah, and Stockport, because they, in my eyes, they are. You know what? They are in my dark horse. We'll get on to them. But, Posh have done good business getting him in. Con Clark, great business. I don't think I haven't spoke about him since I've got back from MAGA.
Didn't we talk about it last week?
No, you and Liam did in your mixed one.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't speak about it because obviously I didn't want to repeat it. But, they have got they've had an exciting window so far. Obviously, it's been overshadowed by Ronnie Edwards leaving for what I think is a small fee. I think $3 million for a player like that is, even if he is in his last year of contract, I think it's such a small fee for such a good player at such a young age. Yeah.
I wonder, though, whether they've been burnt by the Johnson Clark Harris situation. So, he was up this time last year. Dara has this thing of, putting being really transparent about players that they're happy to kind of take offers for. And they got to the point, I think it was Charlton in January, obviously he was in Bristol and that kind of fell apart. That was another admin error. But January, Charlton had put in an offer. I mean, it was 200, 300 grand, I think. And that didn't meet Dara's valuation. Then obviously in the summer he's gone to Rotherham, hasn't he, on a free?
Yeah.
So maybe there's a little bit of portion in there in terms of, maybe this is a couple of $100 grand less than we'd like, but we don't want to risk getting less for him out of desperation.
It's £3 million, which is good until you realise that Barnett's got like a massive sell-on clause on him. So
yeah, I'm sure
you've got a good fee, but at what cost?
Yeah.
And to be honest, if Harrison Burrows does end up leaving, it's a bit of a sticky one for them. Bit of a sticky one.
There's also a couple of teams that have done very, very little. Bolton's won, Leyton Orient, Northampton,
and Reading.
Yeah, I mean Reading. I suppose.
I think if Reading makes signing in at all under his ownership, it's an absolute miracle.
Is there transfer embargo on or off at the moment?
Well, with him in charge, it's probably still on. I'm not sure. It's probably worth a shout. I'm just turning the lights on. Get that out recording.
Oh, good. Big
God.
light.
Yes, the flickering light. We're back.
Yeah, we need some kind of disclaimer as well that if you're watching this on YouTube and you suffer from any form of epileptic seizures, then maybe just
just keep listening.
Listen. Turn the video off. Yeah. And we can't be responsible for anything that happens as a consequence of Harry's big light.
Whoops. Oh well. Back to football. What we've had Posh. We've talked Posh.
We were on teams that haven't really signed anyone.
Oh God, yeah. Reading. Are they under an embargo?
Yeah. I'll have a Google.
Yeah, have a Google. Have
They'll
a
come up
gander.
themselves.
You know.
No, they're not. Oh, hang on. Oh, thing is, it's been on and off. You need to I can't find her.
Yeah, but
It looks like it's been off since this time last year.
the problem I have is we've obviously then got Orient, who's not made a permanent signing yet. But I'm sure Richie Wellens has got that under control. It's Richie Wellens. You know, if I had a manager, it'd be him. Who I'd want to who I'd still be confident in, getting some deals done. Who else? We've got Bolton, which is a surprise. You know, after playoff heartbreak, and what was actually really a disappointing playoff final for them. They've not really done much compared to what I thought they would. Anyway, but Lolos is a good signing.
Yeah, he is. I think. I mean, to go back to Crawley briefly, we did some digging around last week about, what was going on, whether it was like financially oriented, whether like some of the players that have come out have suggested that things are a little bit chaotic behind the scenes, but it does not seem to be financially oriented. And the chairman are very much, it's part of a process. And we said this last week that they have gone through this process before in terms of like clearing the decks and then recruiting based on stats and numbers and all sorts of other things from the National League. Now, that's fine, but it's a big jump from National League to League One, which is, again, is my kind of concern with George Nevitt and Chris Con-Clark to Peterborough. But in a different way.
I think Con-Clark is one I'd back to do well.
Mm-hmm.
He is. I know it's a big step up, but you just look at his technical ability and straight away you just think he's got it. He is. He's got the wow factor sort of thing.
Yeah. Right. The only current embargo in the EFL is Morecambe.
Oh, shock. Morecambe.
So yeah, there's nothing else active at the moment.
Well, Reading, it's another club I feel for. Club with good history, been in the Prem recently, and they've been shafted by their owner.
Yeah, it's always the owners, isn't it?
Yep. And it's always the EFL with their very clever mindset of doing dodgy things.
Yeah. Oh, so Birmingham released Mark Roberts, who's then popped up back at Barnsley. So for regular listeners of League One Look, I have had for some years a mental block about Burnley and Barnsley, and in my head the two are completely interchangeable, despite being obviously from different places, but also being in very different leagues and different positions. It's an affliction. If I think about it for long enough, but I've just read Barnsley and said Burnley. That's how, I don't know. I think it's how my brain works. I think I see the B and see the LEY and then, yeah. Anyway, so Mark Roberts has gone back to Barnsley, but Birmingham have signed Alfie May.
Well,
discuss.
Do we even need to talk about it? The guy's just a goal scorer, isn't he? He's just really good at football.
Yeah.
He's just a really good League One footballer.
He is, but I find it really interesting that he's kind of, he was at Donny, obviously, and then Cheltenham. He's been at Charlton, and now he's been at Birmingham. He just kind of bounces around, and that's the part that I don't fully understand, unless it's just financially oriented, not necessarily from his point of view, but from the club's.
He's done a video on Charlton's social media yesterday, pretty much saying he wanted to move. His wife were unsettled down south and wanted to move back up north. Birmingham's not that north.
No, but Charlton, where's Charlton? So Charlton is, well, I know that. And I also know it's within the ULEZ zone because I got a ticket when we went to play them in the FA Cup. So that's a risk. Oh, Charlton, you know, you need to say you're looking at fixtures.
Yeah.
So I'm going on holiday in October and I'm going on a cruise that leaves Southampton. And so one of the ones that I looked at was where were we that weekend, hoping that it was an away, like halfway between Manchester and Southampton. Charlton.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
But yeah, he just wanted to be back up north or closer to his family. So fair play.
27 goals last season and the Golden Boot, I think.
Yes, he did. And team at season.
Yeah.
But also for me, he, you know, Charlton, I feel like they've got Nathan Jones, obviously experienced manager, took Luton from League Two to Championship playoffs before he left.
Mm-hmm.
He's left multiple times from Luton. To be fair, it gets a bit confusing, you know, when he leaves that much. But I think obviously they've got the replacement, Matty Godden. Was it 14 or 17 he scored last time he were in this league? You know, he's a good experienced striker, good League One striker.
Yeah.
So it's a good replacement, but Burton, I'm doing my Burton and Birmingham thing now. Birmingham are in a really good position. You know, they've kept all the players. I've been speaking to some of the fans. Some of them still want to stay, although they've gone down the Hereford project. You know, you take over again.
Yeah.
So Birmingham are in a really good position. And if the rumours are true, and it is allegedly, I'm not saying this is happening, please don't sue me. Matt Leonard is off to them as well.
Okay.
Who were really good at Northampton last season. Like, really, like, one of the best midfielders in League One last season. So that's another good player through the door.
And this is the problem, isn't it? Well, I mean, it's not a problem, it's the game. You know, the teams that arguably kind of overperformed against expectations last season, Stevenage, I mean, maybe less so Stevenage, but Northampton, Stevenage, Leyton Orient, they get then the bigger teams come in and pick off the best players, and the onus is on them to replace them.
I'm surprised that Jamie Reid hasn't been picked up from Stevenage yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was really good last season. He were all right for Mansfield in League Two. He weren't out special, but he's been unbelievable. He plays for Northern Ireland now in national team, but you know, a little old Mansfield, he was just average.
I mean, because Stevenage did so much business going up from League Two to League One, their players are still under decent contracts. So their release list, if you remember, was quite short, like only maybe 4 or 5 players. Yeah. And they've all gone to like League Two. I think it was Colchester and
only one that stayed is
Rotherham. Yeah.
Yeah. Alex McDonald, which I still can't get my head around, but
But you know, 34. Well, I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, obviously Stevenage had some good incomings, and then it's all gone a little bit quiet with since.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, we've had a little spike now. I still think we're going to keep getting these little transfers keep on coming throughout the week. It's just about who and if there's any big names. I mean, Alfie May is obviously the massive one. Obviously, at 1 minute he's off to bloody Huddersfield, and then next thing you know, he's back off to bloody Wycombe. It was mint. And then obviously we've had this with allegedly Evans for Bristol Rovers, who's apparently going to Huddersfield. And then Birmingham come in and get a bid accepted as well.
And it's tenuously League One related because it's relating to one of their previous players. But League Two's seen quite a lot of drama this week with Charlie Wyke, who was heavily tipped to go back to Bradford. Yeah. And then instead has gone back to Carlisle. And Carlisle are assembling like some kind of master team of,
We're on about God squads. Well, like League Two super teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Carlisle.
Yeah.
Right now.
100%.
Yeah, it's not nice.
But you know, that started to happen the second half of last season, and it just wasn't enough. So hopefully, you know, again, like Rotherham, like Stockport County, I mean, Carlisle published their squad numbers last week. That were for me, that was kind of a proper statement of intent. Like, we have done a fair chunk of our business, and one of the things that, you know, has been levelled at Stockport County's transfers is that we've gone early and there are all our first choice players, which is really encouraging as a fan, because, you know, you want players that want to play for you. But, you know, I think we're probably pretty much done now. We've got our first, like, the players were back in on Monday. And so Fiorini, definitely. I'm trying to think about Sam Hughes was the other one. Both of those were announced post the 1st of July.
Yeah.
So they had contracts that ended on the 30th of June. So they were announced Monday and Tuesday, respectively. And I think some of that was because they were in the pictures, for like the training pictures from Monday, and the club couldn't put them out. So they've both been announced, but I think it'll be quiet now.
But I'd rather that.
Oh yeah, I'm delighted with it, because one of the problems with I didn't definitely expect that volume of incoming players, and I strongly suspect we will lose some as well. But the problem with that, and we had this when we went from the National League to League Two, is that those players then have to learn to play together. So, you know, with like your Maddens, your Sarses, who've been playing together for years with the squad that's left around them, Ryan Crosdale, they have to, you know, work out the best fit. And, you know, there's been talk of people like Jaden Fevrier playing, you know, more like a 10, much more forward than he has been at Colchester. He's more of a winger. So I think it's exciting. I'm excited to see the kind of the quality. I think people like Nick Powell will play better with that kind of elevated skill around them. You know, we talked a lot about Nick Powell's football brain, which is kind of insane, but it was often kind of almost his letdown, because you'd see him kind of pass forward and there'd be no one there because his brain was working faster than everyone else's. So I think that'll be interesting as well. But yeah, so we've got Chester on Saturday, and then we've got Oldham the week after, and then we're kind of into the League Two ones, and I think we've got Blackburn at some point, Carlisle.
Yeah.
Barrow. I'm going to Barrow on a Tuesday night for fun. Like, why not?
Not so Pete Wild this time.
Not so Pete Wild. Pete Wild, who's still, you know, without a club.
He's in Germany. He's in Germany enjoying his best life.
I mean,
in England.
Put him in.
Yeah, you know. Oh, please do. Anyone, like, honestly, even day front local chip shop, you can come in for quarterfinals. Anyone, please. But no, I feel like we couldn't have done this podcast without me absolutely not ranting, but raving about how good Stockport's recruitment team is. And, you know, every single one of their signings isn't one where I'm sat there like, oh, it's a shaky one, that, or it's debatable. You know, all you have to do is look at my own club, Mansfield, and I'm sat here debating whether I think two of them are good signings or not. You know, Stockport's all are relatively young.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Lewis Bake, he's one of the best passers in League Two last season. You've got Lewis, is it Fiorini?
Fiorini.
Yeah. Quality, been in Championship, 22 years of age, permanent signing. You've got Fevrier, one of the best young talents in League Two. Mingy, same again. You know, all of their signings make sense. They're all great. Callum Connolly from Blackpool, yet again, a great signing. I you know what? I love Stockport signings. I think they're absolutely mint. I can't believe how good your recruitment team is. I'm so jealous, but at the same time, I'm not bitter jealous. I'm just like, I just can't wait to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, I'm terrified by Courier Die. And it prompted a really interesting discussion amongst the fan base, because obviously we've got Ben Hinchliffe, who is going into his 9th season
It is his
at the
ninth, yeah.
moment.
I saw that yesterday.
And Ben Hinchliffe, for the League One people who are new to Stockport County, was a heavy goods HGV driver. He came from Fylde. He was driving and playing football part-time. That he had these kind of courses that he had to do that were a requirement for him to still be able to drive, and he'd have to take, they were always on Saturdays, so he'd actually have to not be, he wasn't available for selection when those games came up. You know, he epitomized kind of a part-time footballer. So what he has achieved with the club, and the promotions from National League North to National League to League One to League Two to League One, it's incredible. But at the same time, he's getting on a bit. And
Yeah.
we released Jordan Smith, we released Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones was a kind of academy,
Yeah.
but we've been lacking that natural successor to Ben Hinchliffe. We had Vic Yaros a couple of seasons ago on loan from Liverpool, and that was the closest we came to, like, one would play for a few weeks and then make a mistake, and the other one would come in, and there was a bit of kind of natural competition there. I think Courier Dye is very, very different, both kind of in playing style. Ben is I mean, you've seen Courier Dye play. Courier Dye terrifies me. Like, he terrified me as an opposition fan, like on behalf of the Crawley fans. I'd be in my head going like, get back in your area, he'd just be like all over the place.
Courier Dye is like my driving. It's risky, but it does the job and it gets you places.
Yeah.
That's what I did with Crawley. It's
Yeah.
risky. It did the job and it got you to League One, and that's the type of keeper he is.
He, stats wise, he is brilliant. Like, his prevented goals last season was exponentially higher than Ben's, but you could argue that's because our defence was less leaky than Crawley's.
It was so good last season. Your defence and our defence last season were just unbelievable.
So we'll see what happens, but there are lots of people in the Stockport County fan base who are very much like, no, this is Ben. Ben is our number one. He has, well, I don't know, I think he deserves to start until he's proven otherwise. Whereas I'm kind of a bit less on the sentimentality side and more on the, no, they start on an equal playing field. He has not come in to sit on the bench as a second choice goalkeeper.
Well, you paid a fee.
Yeah, they start on a level playing field, and whoever deserves the starting spot gets the starting spot.
In my opinion, I feel like I would give Ben Hinchliffe the game time to start with, just to, like, pretty much, you don't want to just go, you've got us this far, but now we've got this shiny new toy, so fuck off.
Well, there's no sentimentality in football.
No, I get that, but I don't think he's actually done anything remotely wrong.
No, I mean, for God's sake, he won the Golden Glove last season and was only just outside it the season before. He is an incredibly safe pair of hands.
He's great. He's a good keeper. And it's not like it was like Ben Foster, where it was sentimental. He came back and he wasn't up to scratch. And we knew he went up to scratch at National League. I remember that game against Halifax when he conceded 2 near post goals. And realistically, the thing that earned him a contract, and no shock, was that save against Notts County. Penalties. But yeah, it was, it's just Charlie could go either way with it, can't he? He could go either way. But he's ruthless, though. We know he's ruthless.
Yes, and I'm starting to respect that a bit more. I think, like, as the club progresses, and the stakes get higher, but also kind of people's ambitions get higher, and they kind of get bought into the whole thing. We're coming into a season where even Edgeley Park will feel different. I mean, we've got the ground expansion is with the planners at the moment, but the first part will just the first part will make the ground feel bigger. feel very different because it's an extension to that kind of old main stand on the main road, not the main road, but on Hardcastle Road. We're getting pitch side, like four side boards. We've got a new scoreboard on the Porsche lounge. We've got a new scoreboard, and we had a massive scoreboard anyway, that's 22% bigger than the one that we've currently got, and is supposedly the biggest scoreboard or screen in League One.
But it's got to be big. It's got to be big to top ours. Which
I think Birmingham have just got a massive new one as well, haven't they? So it must be bigger than that. But
our scoreboard is massive, but it works like 3 times a season.
Yeah. The shop's been gutted at the moment. This feels like a kind of watershed milestone off season in terms of the business on the pitch, but also the stuff that's happening behind the scenes as well. And it's really exciting. And it's really nice for a club that, has gone through so much. I mean, we dropped out of the Football League in 2011. And it's just really nice. Like, I know about not mentioning the trophy tour, but it's nearly finished. But was it last weekend? We took it to a care home in Cheadle, and people who were not particularly young in 1967 when we won the last time we won a league trophy, like old ladies in tears because they're like, we're on our way back. And that's what it means to people. And, my one hope, and I think that the stewardship at the club is there, that we retain all the lovely things that we do that make it feel like a family club when, you're in League One or the Championship, and you don't need the floodlights anymore because your scoreboard's so big.
And I mean, it goes on to what we were saying about Burton, where they were like, we're straight away off the back, they're doing a family and community thing, doing this meet and greet. Don't have to do it, but they're doing it to give some assurances. And, it has. And every comment I've seen so far from Burton fans has been positive. So,
it's good. Right. We managed to do an hour and 20 on, and I wouldn't say not a lot, but there's no games to talk about, is there? So I think we've done quite well.
No, and if we wanted to talk about England, it'd just become a Southgate absolute. I think if you want, obviously, please go and follow League One Look on Twitter. But if you want to go and look at my main Twitter, at the minute, it's just literally giving Southgate a load of shit for not changing his team. So, and actually, I'm quite happy to move away from England because they're boring as fuck.
Excellent. Right. So moving on, or moving off. So we'll be back next week at some point. We're just kind of normally we'll have a set day at some point, but we're just kind of taking it as it goes at the moment.
More than likely will be Wednesdays, won't it? Let's be real.
Yeah, that works for me. We
can't next week if England get through.
Is that when it's going to be? Is that when the semi-finals are?
Yeah. Huh. If we get through, Wrexham fans don't call me an arrogant Englishman like you normally do.
Oh dear, you're not bitter at all, are you, Harry? It's like Liam Mark II. Nothing's really changed. It's just got a different title.
No, one's Yorkshire and one's Nottingham.
But by the next time we speak, there will be some pre-season games to talk about.
Yeah, and Mansfield might actually make another signing.
Woo!
Do something, guys.
It's like that meme, like
doing it. Stockport are doing it. Why can't we?
Well, yeah.
Do something. It's like Pokemon with the stick. Just do something. Come on. I don't want to know about Carabao Sports Energy. Just fucking sign someone.
It'll be fine. It'll all work itself out.
Oh no, I'm still confident staying up by a mile.
Ace. Right. I shall see you next week then.
Yes. Oh, yes. Hopefully.
That sounded really like,
Yeah, well, with Lewis Brunt and Rio Aberdeen, it's been a tough 2 days. I might still be crying.
You won't. It'll be fine. Move on. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.